Live on KX4. This is Valley News Live at 4.
By the time we got up to it, we were about 2 cars and a semi behind the whole thing, and their car was shredded to pieces.
Breaking news this afternoon, one person is dead and another in a Fargo hospital after they crashed head-on with a semi near Hillsboro earlier today. Grand Forks County deputies say they were involved in a chase with a reported stolen vehicle out of Grand Forks. Deputies say the man driving was heading south on I-29 when he crossed the center line and crashed head-on with the semi. He reportedly died, and his female passenger was taken to Sanford for unknown injuries. The semi driver also sustained unknown injuries. Traffic in that area is now back to normal after being backed up for several hours. No word yet on the name of the people involved in the crash. New details in the death of a West Fargo police officer yesterday. Autopsy results show Lieutenant Adam Gustafson had a sudden heart attack at the police station. The community is remembering the lieutenant today with a memorial set up in the grand foyer of West Fargo City Hall. The lobby is open to the public from 8 a.m. through 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Funeral arrangements have not yet been announced. Lieutenant Gustafson had been with the department for more than 10 years. Tonight on Valley News Live at 6, we'll hear from law enforcement about Gustafson's lasting impact on the department and the community. There's some much needed rain in the forecast, but you might hear a rumble or encounter a landspout this evening. Make sure to stick with Valley News Live throughout the evening for the latest. But first, let's go to Hutch for a first look. Hutch?
Stacey, thanks so much. Yes, we're keeping our eyes very closely on the activity that's developing on the radar from northwest Minnesota straight down through the James River Valley, just west of Jamestown, not far from you in Medina, Cleveland, and also a cluster of storms. A lot of lightning showing up with these, and we're watching for this quote-unquote landspout. Basically, they're usually weaker tornadoes is what they are. They are vortices that are forming in the spinning atmosphere. So here is the area of concern tonight in the dark green shades extending from northwest Minnesota through the southern James River Valley down towards Ashley and Wishick. This is a marginal risk, level 1 on a 5-point scale. Now, this means storms could form. They'll be marginally severe. That means they could produce a few severe wind gusts. We could see a few produce hail up to 1 inch in diameter, and there is a low tornado risk, but it's not zero, and we're keeping our eyes on that. And take a look at this with me. The visible satellite imagery shows clearly what we have and why we're concerned. These low-level winds are from the south today. That's what's been ruffling up your hair. But up aloft, if you watch these higher clouds, you can see them drifting in the opposite direction. This causes a roll in the air over our region, and that roll, if it gets sucked up into a thunderstorm, can get pointed down toward the ground. Storms firing west of Jamestown. Let's take a closer look at these moving through Eddy and Foster counties. See this little area here? There's a burp of air. This is a gust front coming out of the storm in Mackville. You may be getting some gusty west-northwest winds. These are nearly stationary right now. Temperatures are warm. The storms will continue moving east. I'll have timing and location and when you can expect the thunderstorm activity on this warm evening here. Stacey, in just a few moments.
Yeah, a lot to watch for tonight. Thanks, Hutch. A man has been sentenced to 6 years in prison for his role in a deadly car versus pedestrian crash in Fargo last year. David Torgerson pled guilty to manslaughter in the death of 39-year-old Peter McKenney. Police say Torgerson was driving in Fargo when he hit and killed McKenney, who's from Alexandria. Originally, police arrested a woman in connection to the death, but they later learned Torgerson was the true suspect. After serving 6 years behind bars, he'll spend 2 years on probation. Today, members of the Fargo Human Relations Commission met to discuss a proposed hate crime ordinance within the city. If passed, anyone who violates the ordinance by committing simple assault, criminal mischief, or harassment could face up to a $1,500 fine and up to 30 days in jail. An organizer for the coalition says today's meeting was a rich conversation with incredible feedback from people in the community.
I think our community can do better, and I think that we need to raise the bar as far as what is appropriate behavior to all our residents. There should be nobody living in our community who lives under the veil of threat and fear that they are going to be targeted because of who they are.
The hate crime ordinance is set to be introduced to the City Commission on June 1st. The Fargo Human Relations Commission hopes to have that ordinance started by July 7th. Canadian officials say people looking to freely cross the northern border are going to have to wait a while. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau told reporters 75% of Canadians will need to be fully vaccinated against COVID-19 before they even consider loosening restrictions. And that's going to take some time. As of yesterday, only 3.8% of Canadians have been fully vaccinated. The orders banning non-essential travel between the two countries are set to expire Friday, but that's expected to be extended again. The state of Minnesota is focusing efforts on getting families vaccinated. Governor Walz joined state health officials this afternoon to promote the new Roll Up Your Sleeves Minnesota Families campaign. The governor says a safe, normal summer is within reach, but only if Minnesotans get the COVID vaccine.
I can't stress enough, as we move back towards a semblance of normalcy, does not mean this is over, but it does mean those folks who are vaccinated, who are healthy, who are ready to move on can do that. We're asking others that if you're not vaccinated, continue to mask up, follow the local guidance in those communities where you're at and the guidance they give you, and then we get through this thing faster. With that,
the Pfizer vaccine is the only one available to Minnesotans under 18. Clay County public health officials say they're seeing a slow increase with vaccinations. More than 40% of the county has now received at least one dose, and 35% are fully vaccinated. You can walk in and get your shot in Moorhead today, no appointment necessary. Clay County Public Health is holding a walk-in COVID vaccine clinic at the Yumcomb Center today and tomorrow. The health department will be offering the single-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine at today's clinic, which runs until 6 p.m. Tomorrow's clinic is from 1:30 to 3:30. They'll have both the J&J and Moderna vaccines. Across the river in Cass County, about 52% of people ages 12 and older are fully vaccinated. 150,000 doses have been administered in the county so far. A study in Spain finds those under 60 who had the AstraZeneca COVID vaccine can safely be given Pfizer for the second shot. The recommendation comes after the health ministry suspended the use of AstraZeneca among this age group due to associations with rare cases of blood clots. According to the study, the administration of a single dose using the Pfizer vaccine is highly effective and safe. If you're looking for options to get the vaccine, use our VNL vaccine tracker. It's on the homepage of our website, or you can open your phone camera and point it at the QR code on your screen, then tap the link that pops up. If the pandemic has taught us anything, it's change. One day people were free to roam, the next confined to their homes. We were told to mask up, and now if you've been vaccinated, mask free. But as Dan Scheneman explained, some people aren't ready to go back to the way it was.
We're finding that even people who are fully vaccinated and are in many senses in the clear are not willing to fully return to that pre-pandemic lifestyle.
Yes, you heard that right. After about 15 months of pandemic living, Americans aren't quick to return to their former life.
I think social distancing is like the necessary part that probably still has to be intact until, we're at a different place.
Some people are, the numbers are down. They will go back up if we don't continue to properly social distance.
Recent polls by Marist, NPR, and Invisibly say people are comfortable staying 6 feet apart for a bit longer.
People understand that social distancing works, and so more people are going to continue doing that.
But not everyone.
Now that I'm fully vaccinated, I'm very confident. We should go back to normal, like how it used to be.
Data research firm Invisibly used its real-time research tool to poll almost 3,000 people to find out how they feel about attending large sporting events and returning to activities like travel.
And everybody's like, oh, let's get out, and let's go do something new. But that nostalgia might wear off pretty quick.
58% of respondents say they'd hop on a plane now, compared to 49% who say they're okay waiting a couple of more months before rubbing elbows with others.
People are ready to start branching out into more activities, but not all of them.
Together or apart, experts say do what's best for you and your family. The University of North Dakota is doing away with masks on June 1st. The university says those who are not fully vaccinated are still strongly encouraged to keep wearing them, and everyone should do their part to keep the campus community safe by washing hands often and continuing to physically distance when possible. Some Fargo residents took advantage of the sunny weather this afternoon to get active for a good cause. It's the annual VA 2K walk and roll event at the Healing Garden outside the Fargo VA. Veterans, employees, and community members held the event to help support homeless veterans. People are pushed in their wheelchairs or can walk at their own pace. Organizers say it's important to show love and support for vets who risk their lives for our freedom.
I am so thankful for this warm weather and the people that came out and our volunteers, everyone that helped me plan this event. It's been an amazing experience for me and our staff.
We have a link to donate to the Fargo VA up on our website, valleynewslive.com. Just click on this story.
Me looking in the mirror and saying, are you really living or are you just existing?
The pandemic has more than half of adults considering a career change. We'll have tips for those looking to reinvent themselves next.
And much needed rain showing up on the radar, developing though in the form of thunderstorms, some small hail, some gusty wind, and possibly an isolated tornado. Not out of the question. Your hour-by-hour forecast is right after this.